Hello, my name is Garett Weston Thomas-Sirijaroonchai, and you're listening to a bigger Multiverse Spectrum podcast on this May Day of 2026. Just to fill you in about all 4 of my recent medical visits over the past 2 weeks and 1 day, I'll go backwards for a moment in an attempt to clarify. First, as you hopefully know by now, this far into the podcast, I am a lifelong epileptic. According to appointments scheduled from last January, some of my latest visits were thus scheduled by a neurologist from that very moment, specifically both a lumbar puncture and another neuro visit. More on those later. Then, from another type of doctor, I gave another 2 visits to teams at Mount Zion for attempting to adjust the sizing of my tinnitus, within my nasal cavity. The first visit to this group of people took at least 9 or 10 months, so I had to schedule accordingly, for being glad I could even attend the first visit in this whole group here. Essentially what I would unofficially call my nose job, but was actually a group of perhaps 6 doctors that did indeed give me a sedation while they inserted various contents into each of my nasal passages. As expected, this would turn a bit bloody, but maybe on day 3 or 4 afterwards, most of that blood became dried, and then there was more of a phlegmy mucus output. Most of that remained a leak, with or without blood, until the doctor removed that on day 9, in which I learned there really was 1 stitch included. My body is still responding to this newer, more open nasal capacity, but my nasal breathing while horizontal in bed has improved quite a bit. Back to the neuro activities prescribed. I have had both a lumbar puncture and then another visit by a neurologist. One of these, for enduring the spinal tap, occurred the day before when I had my nasal contents yanked out. I think the lumbar day was very calming, actually, and then my moment for tinnitus relief was immensely quick. My most recent appointment did not give many specifics yet. I think I provided more information than they did by temporarily offering some MRIs of my past, including some from my childhood. 2 points, to quote, that I recall from this neuro on the 13th upon viewing these older MRIs. Quote, CSF oligoclonal bands, 05-2026, 5 unique oligoclonal bands present, indicating chronic intrathecal immune response, unquote. Quote number 2, medically refractory left hemisphere focal epilepsy with secondary generalization in the setting of chronic unilateral hemisphere injury, suggestive of a Rasmussen spectrum encephalitis, unquote. While I am soon to learn more about each case study, I am now scheduled for a new MRI all the way at the end of October, more than 6 months later. I know we would like another visit with the neurologist some point in the next 2 to 3 months, if it works in each of our schedules. Well, this entire podcast was reading my original written text. Maybe that will help out in my editing? We're soon to find out. Regardless, that's a wrap, folks. This has been one more new podcast for a bigger Multiverse Spectrum podcast with Speaker Garett signing off.